Hello, sorrow, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains the sight of sorrow. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And once again, we're going to change a little bit and become Project Rely today, where we rant, educate, lead, and inspire. And today's rant is concerning the protesting and concerning the reaction. And I believe that based upon something that was taught to me by my mentor, that I may have somewhat of a solution. So here goes. One of the things my main mentor, Bob Anderson, always taught me was, when you're talking to somebody that you're mentoring, your mentee, listen to what they say and use the words that they use against them for them. Because people will say something and then you got them. Okay, say, did you really mean that? All right, did you really mean that you wanted to have, go on that big vacation or buy that big car or get that big house? Well, let's use that kind of framework in regard to what's been going on recently in our country. One of the main thing that I heard President Trump say was, hey, you're being weak, we got to go out, we got to dominate. We've got to dominate out there. You need to send out the troops. You need to dominate, because if you show weakness, they're just going to run all over you. Yeah? Okay. Listen to what he says. Use what he says against him for him. Here's my spin on that. That's the problem. The problem is these people feel like they have been dominated. It's now time to stop dominating. We're all the same. It's time to stop dominating. It's time to stop stereotyping. Stereotyping, my goodness. One of the things, while the president was making a speech in the Rose Garden, simultaneously there was a peaceful demonstration going on a few hundred yards away from where he was standing, and the powers that be, the military, took this peaceful demonstration that he was saying, hey, I have no problem with people that demonstrate peacefully. I support people that demonstrate peacefully. Yet these people were moved, and the why because they were moved is so later on a peaceful demonstration wouldn't turn into something violent. Huh? They were peaceful. They weren't causing any problem. Leave them alone. It was before the curfew. They weren't breaking any laws. So while at the same time you're saying you're in favor of supporting people that demonstrate peacefully, you're moving them out forcefully, and in your speech you're stereotyping them by saying, hey, they're all the same, they're all looters, they're all troublemakers, so we need to have major force to go against them. I'm trying to understand the logic of that, but I can't. I heard somebody on TV saying, I thought this was kind of clever, this is a first for President Trump because he's lying in real time. While he's saying one thing, his actions on the other side, a couple hundred yards away, are doing the opposite. What we need is to stop the mindset of dominating. And what we need to do is have the mindset of harmony. We need to address the issue and not focus on how we can beat back a group of people. Are there people that are insincere amongst those people that are protesting? Of course there are. All right? I mean, to go in and to go in and to destroy a grocery store that's the only grocery store in a particular neighborhood, what are those people going to do now? You know, it doesn't make sense on both sides. You know, and the one thing that really illustrated things for me was actually a contribution from basketball player LeBron James, where right away he issued a photo of the policeman with his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck, and then on the other side he had the Colin Kaepernick picture with his knee on the ground. He said, "You see what we're saying? You see what we mean?" That was kind of a very graphic photo. And if I were in the old days, Life magazine used to put these great covers on their, on the front page on their cover. That would have been the cover that I would have used, the two knees. It illustrates the point. But what we need to do is we need to start discussion. Now, another thing that I heard was, all right, if these protesters get what they want, what exactly is it that they want us to do? They're not saying what they want us to do. Hey, hello? When back in the 60s, when there was fighting for civil rights, there wasn't a specific thing to do except to treat people the way people should be treated. That's what they're saying. The same way as you teach your children to be polite, to have common courtesy, to have respect. That's the mindset that must prevail in our country. We're making some progress, but obviously it's not going fast enough, and I would tend to agree with that big time. I mean, when you get a group of people to go out all at once without any major organization, like all over the country, you got to say to yourself, you know what? I think there's something wrong going on here. And to dominate them is exactly the wrong approach. That is what got this situation the way it is in the first place. So let's stop thinking about dominating. Let's start thinking about communicating. Let's start thinking about changing the mindset. Let's start thinking about, from the top down, creating a little bit more sensitivity all the way around both sides, so that we can actually move forward as a united country. It's time to lock arms. And when you are in a situation where a tragedy has occurred, that is the time when it's the absolute easiest to get people to hold hands, look them in the eye, and create a sympathetic crowd towards one particular objective. Why is this president unable to do that? With COVID-19, with this situation with Mr. Floyd, this is a situation that should be easy for us to all unite as one and say, hey, we have to work together to make this better. Yet, we find a way to create factions, to create opposing points of view, when we should be seeking calm, we should be seeking harmony, and we should be seeking togetherness. Now, I don't want to sound like, a wimpy old man, but isn't this obvious? When there's something wrong and it's obvious and it's tragic, that's the time when we all have to pull together. So, please, let's stop thinking about dominating and start thinking about communicating, because we're all in this together. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.